A University of Manitoba professor has come under fire for participating in an event organized by a Russian group that is on Canada's sanctions list. The Valdai Discussion Club is a Moscow-based think tank and discussion forum established in part by the Russian government. Radhika Desai made international headlines earlier this month when she asked President Vladimir Putin for his opinion on a scandal involving a Nazi-affiliated veteran who was honored in Canada's House of Commons. Karen Pauls has the latest.
It all started with this.
President Putin, thank you very much for another really well-informed, I would say, historically very instructive and thought-provoking talk.
That's University of Manitoba political studies professor Radhika Desai asking Russian President Vladimir Putin for his opinion
from the Second World War who fought
on Canadian MPs honoring a veteran in the House of Commons last month.
He's a Ukrainian hero, a Canadian hero, and we thank him for all his service. Thank you.
It later emerged that Yaroslav Hunka fought with a Nazi unit.
As you know, the Canadian Parliament has just made itself a laughingstock of the world by applauding a Ukrainian Nazi.
Desai's question gave Putin an opportunity to ridicule Canada and former House of Commons Speaker Anthony Rota.
He's an idiot.
Desai was participating in an event organized by a Russian think tank placed in September on Canada's sanctions list for generating and disseminating disinformation and propaganda. Putin speaks at the Valdai Discussion Club every year. Her decision to accept the Valdai's all-expense-paid invitation and participate despite the sanctions has generated criticism.
She gave the big gift of Putin being able to say that Canada has now provided further justification or proven the justification for our special military operation of denazifying Ukraine, which is pretty horrendous.
Now back home and teaching at the University of Manitoba, Desai is defending her actions.
If I thought it was wrong of me to go, I would not go.
Desai says she and her husband were detained and questioned for nearly 3 hours when they returned to Canada.
Then they read to me from some statement, some printout they had of an interview I had given. They read to me my words, and they essentially implied that I should be ashamed of myself. And I said, I'm not ashamed of myself.
Experts in international sanctions say they're written in a mostly business context with the goal of halting financial transactions with Russian entities. There is an exception if the contract was entered into before the sanctions were announced, but the risks are substantial.
So you could face prosecution and again, substantial fines or jail time in addition to the reputational risk.
Global Affairs Canada, the RCMP, and Canadian Border Services Agency won't say if they are investigating. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Winnipeg.